richest and most powerful countries in Europe, is going to sustain itself in terms of its energy needs without harming its economic growth?
Well, this would largely depend on what kind of energy sources will replace Germany's aging reactors or the reactors that they are going to shut down. Looking at the current picture, the energy supply situation is pretty tight because natural gas prices are going up, and if the Germans replace the existing nuclear plants with gas, then it is going to introduce a lot of price volatility in the German electricity market.
Every shift requires a cost, so it depends how much they're prepared to put into that cost. They're going to go for taking more electricity into entering from the French grid, to what extent they're going to import more gas from Russia, and so on. What are the other options on the table for Germany? So everything can be worked around, I would guess, but it really depends on these parameters.
Germany's initiative has garnered mixed responses from countries across the world. But will it mean a doom and gloom for the future of nuclear power industry? Not necessarily so. Emerging countries such as China, India and the United Arab Emirates seem unperturbed by the shutting down of nuclear power plants in Germany and are pushing ahead with their plans to develop nuclear energy facilities.
The area where the German response will have impact is on new builds, especially in countries which are exploring to build nuclear power plants for the first time. There will be a lot of pressure. But again, if you look at the response which is coming from different countries, it's not the same. The United Arab Emirates is already going ahead with the construction of its first nuclear reactors. Even though China was cautious in response to the Fukushima accident, there is no indication that China is going to roll back its nuclear program. In fact, China has a very ambitious expansion program.
Although the radiation leak at the Fukushima Daiichi power plant has revealed the potential dangers of using nuclear energy, experts believe it would be impractical to rule out nuclear power as a viable alternative at a time when demand for fossil fuels has exceeded supply. While Germany has sought to lead the way in moving towards a nuclear-free world in terms of energy consumption, the reality is that the world still currently lacks an appropriate backup source of power to replace fossil fuels. And while more countries are investing in technologies to harness renewable energy, such as wind, solar and geothermal power, it is not sustainable for a country to run on these renewables alone. Therefore, nuclear energy would likely remain as a major energy source of power for the future.
The problem is, if we look ahead, we see demand for energy ramping up and supply struggling to keep pace with demand. And over time, you can see a gap opening up which has to be filled in some way. Either you take extraordinary measures to suppress demand, or you take extraordinary measures to increase supply. And taking these measures requires us to use every available technology that is out there. There is no one magic bullet that will solve all our problems.
In another 20 or 30 years, we are going to be left with a situation where at least 50 countries will be having some form of nuclear power in their territory. So it is not going to go away. It was going to be around for a long time to come.
With that analysis, we've come to the end of this week's Insight. Till we meet again next week, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.